All right, hello. My name's Jason. I use he, him pronouns. We are here to play the game Cartel by Magpie Games, written by Mark Diaz Truman. This is session 5 of 5. Cartel is a PBTA game of narco fiction. It takes place in Durango, Mexico in the year 2007. We're playing this game as part of the Gauntlet RPG community, gauntlet-rpg.com. Come check us out. We got forums, Slack, podcasts, Codex Zine. It comes out every 2, 3, 4 months. We've got conventions that happen every 3 or 4 months. We've got all kinds of good stuff. And of course, lots of gaming. Um, let's go around and everybody introduce. We got a full house today. So in the course of our 5 sessions, we've had a little bit of a rotating group of people. Sometimes we have 3 people, sometimes 4. Today we have 5. We have all the characters here. It's great. So let's go around the table. Everybody introduce themselves with your character with your pronouns. And today is the day. So if you have a Yave, or mention your Yaves and mention what it takes to clear them. Because if you're going to clear those Yaves, this is the time to do it. So yeah, just read your Yaves over and tell us what it is you need to do to clear it. And remember, if you clear a Yave, it means you immediately get an advance and you pick a new Yave. But since it's our last session, it probably won't, what your new Yave is probably won't be too relevant, but who knows? So anyways, let's go around the table. Let's go left to right on the character keeper today. Daniel, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hello, my name is Daniel, he, him pronouns. I play Angel, who is a sicario. He's an assassin working for the cartel, and he has done a lot of wrong things and things that didn't go up well with the plaza, with the cartel, and so now he is in a lot of trouble. He has basically they want to kill him if they see him, but also he has been had a little change of heart. His relationship with Lupe is flourishing, and he's hoping that he will survive the last showdown with the cartel, because he wants to live, because he now finds that he has something to live for finally in his life.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure Lupe will not break your heart. Let's go over to and tell us about your Yaves. Sorry, how to clear them.
Yeah. My Yaves are, the first one is Indomitable, which means that I am supposed to go into battle if I'm outgunned or outmanned, and I clear the Yave when I surrender to my enemies instead of fighting my way through them. And the other one is Mercy, meaning and I clear this key if I greatly injure or kill someone who is defenseless or unaware. So those are the two, and we see how it goes today.
Okay, great. Pavel, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hey, good evening. Good morning. I'm Pavel. I play Saul Zoido, who is in neck deep in bad business. He was told to apprehend Lupe. He did it, and then things went sideways when Gulf Cartel showed up, and now the representative of the Gulf Cartel is dead, and Saul lost all of his pandilla. Is somehow wounded with a broken knee somewhere in the streets, and wondering how to spin it in his favor. And he lost everything: his flat, his guns, his money. We'll see. Yes, his keys are ambition, to convince someone important to give him a job, and to clear it, he needs to seize the opportunity and ask for forgiveness. I think I might be able to clear it today. The other is bold, which means going into difficult situations without preparation, or to clear it to escape such situations. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, thank you. Matthew, tell us about Ignacio.
Ignacio is our resident cocinero. He has been cooking up some cocaine for the what you call it, the district,
Plaza.
the plaza. There, that's at the plaza. And his existence is a source of frustration for all who know him, insofar as he comes off as erratic, unreliable, reckless, impulsive, and he desperately wants to get out from under that, but he's just having a hard time with the little secrets he's keeping from everyone else. As for the Llaves keys. Ignacio's Llaves are secrets. He lies to people who are close to him about his illicit activities, and he clears and advances when he does come clean to his family. And I feel like, even though the character has been absent for a while, I think we're coming close to a scene or a situation where this could happen. And the other Llave is debt. Mark XP when you strain your finances to meet immediate needs, and Ignacio can clear this if he finds a way out from under the thumb of those he owes money to.
All right, thank you. Sebastian, tell us about yourself and your character.
Yeah, so hi, Sebastian, he, him. I am playing Isabel Mercedes Sagal, a polizata, meaning a corrupt cop. This is basically her first or second day back to Durango after multiple years, where she works for Los Federales outside of the city. She left after a failed assassination in her life that ended up with her husband in a wheelchair forever. And already on this first day of her being back, she's shot multiple people, been shot at multiple times, been called out as a corrupt cop by her colleague Zamora, learned that her boss Reyes himself is actually trying to take over the cartel or take over the city from the cartel and replace it with his own control, found herself in the middle of all of that, and basically learned at the end of the day that her husband is back in the hospital because he didn't take the medication that he should take because of financial difficulties. So now she finds herself even more strained for finances. Learning of the plot of her captain, she hoped that she could basically let the Jefe know about that and somehow play that to her advantage to get some money out of that, to deal with her strained finances. And confiding into that in the evening with her sister Lupe, she then fell into a drunken stupor. And that's the last we've seen of her. And her Llaves are schemes. So basically, I try to play the two sides of police and cartel against each other. I can clear that when I openly choose one of the two loyalties, and debt. When I strain my finances, I hit my key, and I can resolve that if I find a way to get out of my debt.
All right, thank you. And Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm playing Lupe Ayala. She, Ignacio's separated wife, with whom they share a 10-year-old child, Alejandro. And Lupe is playing the playbook La Esposa, the wife. And she is all about family connections and keeping the family above water during trying times. Lupe has, up until recently, had been largely just meddling in her family's affairs to the degree of emotionally working on them to do the right thing out of a general knowledge that they were involved in bad things and that they needed protecting. But last time, after sitting down and having a heart-to-heart with Isabel, during which time Isabel got drunk and and fell asleep, she decided that the only way to keep Isabel safe and to keep her son Alejandro safe was to ask her lover, Angel, to kill the police lieutenant, Inspector Arias. And so this is the first time she crossed the line into the sordid world of the cartel. It got worse than that when Saul, on instructions from the cartel, kidnapped her, and which was bad enough. But when she was taken away to his apartment, the Gulf cartel showed up. There was a terrible interaction, and she saw a couple of people get shot before her eyes, which terrified her. And I mean, she knew that this sort of thing happened, but it is a very different thing to actually see it. So she is trying somehow to protect her family, which in this case includes Angel to a certain degree, but especially Isabel, and to have it out with Ignacio, who has been hiding from her. And her llaves include loyalty, which is mark experience when you accept the lies or half-truths of a trusted friend or lover, and clear this when you confront a loved one with evidence of their betrayals and deceptions, which is certainly a possibility. And the other one is family. Mark experience when you violate your family members' boundaries to protect them. She's done that a lot. Clear this in advance when you allow one of them to be hurt or harmed when you could have intervened.
Okay, great. All right, so safety-wise, we're using the Gauntlet Code of Conduct. We're using the Open Door. We're using the X card. I'm going quickly because I know we discussed this each session. And we're using lines and veils. Let me just check, see if there's anything new there. We got homophobia, midichlorians, sexual assault, violence and coercion, transphobia, infertility, and earthquakes under lines. We've got slavery and torture by PCs for veils, and we have propaganda is an ask first. We're going to get started real quick. Let me just say before we get into it, since this is our last session and there's 5 players, we're going to aim to have short scenes with sharp cuts. So when you're in a scene, get to where you want to go in that scene quickly. You know, this is the day for that sharp action. And as much as possible, engage the other players into your scenes. If we can have scenes with 3 or 4 or maybe even all 5 of you guys together, those are going to be hot, juicy scenes, and that'll get everybody that screen time all at once. So keep those things in mind as we go along. In terms of play, look at your characters, check your stress, see where you're at. I know a lot of you have low stress and a bunch of you have real high stress. Those of you with low stress, set your stress to 2. Remember, whenever we start a session in Cartel, you start with at least 2 stress. The others might want to look for an opportunity to relieve some stress. We're going to skip start a session moves today. We've got enough in our pot. What we have on our table is going to fill up our session really well. We don't need anything else. Let me refer you guys. You know, a lot of our plot has been moving towards, it may or may not end there, who knows what happens, but a lot of our plot was moving towards this football stadium. If you go to the tab Maps and Locations and you scroll down, I've created just a simple little map of what I imagine the football stadium looks like. This is, we're not going to map it out. We're not going to like figure out where everybody's at or anything, but just to help you guys visualize, you know, what we're talking about. So on one side of this football pitch, there's a big set of wooden stands. And on the other side, there's sort of a bunch of outbuildings, lockers, landscaping buildings, whatnot. And then in the middle, we'll talk about it more, but there's all kinds of trucks and vans and labs and stuff, including Ignacio's, a little bit of a spoiler of what's coming. And then on each end of the football stadium, there's a 4-foot wooden slats fence. And that is also covers probably part of the opposite side from the stadiums or from the stands. So like I said, I mean, this is just to help visualize as we go along if we end up spending a lot of time in the football stadium today. In terms of, we were saying that there's a good chance that there's going to be some confrontations between the different groups that we've introduced in our game. If there ends up being a big shootout, how I'd like to play it is that think of the shootout as sort of like set dressing in the background. So when you guys visualize and frame your scenes, you can go ahead and picture yourself moving through this shootout. You're not going to have to like fight your way through guards and stuff. Just kind of like come out and say, hey, Jason, I'd like a scene with X, Y, and Z doing this, and we'll get you there. If you need to make a roll or something, we'll throw that in. But imagine, and you could fit it into our story of, people shooting each other in the background. There's, I don't know how many of you guys have seen it, but there's the Narcos Mexico, the first season. They go in and they attack this huge marijuana field. The police and the DEA attack this huge marijuana field. And there's this whole episode, which is this gunfight. But you see the characters moving through this gunfight, but you never get the sense that they're actually like in the gunfight. It's like it's all happening around them. And they're doing their thing. I'm imagining our session will go the same way. So anyways, put that out there to help you guys if we get to that point. Let us start. Matthew hasn't been with us the last two sessions, so I want to get Ignacio back into our fiction. So Matthew, if you go to the very last tab of the Character Keeper, it's called Ignacio's Love Letter.
I see it.
Go ahead and read that, and we'll work our way through this and try to get you into our story.
All right. If I heard you guys all correctly, it was Zamora who was the one working to take down the cartel and take it over, like become.
That is Lieutenant Reyes. That's the head of the anti-cartel task force. And
Yeah.
Zamora was the good cop that you guys had all interacted with, or most of you had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, as the viewers know, that Isabel has been tasked with eliminating.
Right.
Reyes by her
blackmail
Yeah.
Sebastian
Yeah.
into killing Zamora. And Zamora Reyes has also strong armed Saul into killing the Jefe.
Yeah, so I can answer these questions.
Okay, go ahead. So just read through it just so we all can follow along at home.
Sure.
And then we'll make our rolls and get you started.
All right. The Jefes Lieutenant and Adina abducted you and took you to the football stadium. You were surprised to see that all of the cartel's cocineros and their portable labs had been moved there and were surrounded by heavily armed guards. And Adina locked you in your van and told you to get to work. But before she grabbed you, you were approached by someone and they offered you a deal. Now, there are three options in here, and I've already chosen the one. I'd say that I was approached by Reyes, the crooked Los Federales lieutenant. And Ignacio agreed to help Reyes defeat the Jefe in return for erasing the debt and allowing Ignacio to become a freelancer cooking for himself.
Okay. That sounds good. And then make your selection and roll with grit to establish your starting point.
All right. Let's see. Characters. Grit is 2. I don't think I took a grit bonus, so let's roll 2d6 plus 2. Today is a good day, for it is a 7.
You missed several sessions of a lot of misses, Matthew. So that's a 7 is a great roll compared to what we've seen. 7. Enadina seems distracted. Only one guard is watching your van, and they let you wander about as long as you don't get out of view.
All right, so you got my fictional positioning, basically.
You are fixed. All right, great. Let's cut to Isabel and Lupe. So when we ended last time, I think Brandon mentioned it, he was talking to a priest on the phone. And Isabel, you start to awaken and you hear Lupe saying something like, thank you, Father Gabriel. And she had, I think you put like your cross to your forehead or kissed it or something.
Yes, I did that. And of course, when I stood up, I crossed myself. She recognized the end of a confession.
Mm-hmm.
she was a good Catholic.
So you guys take it from there. Isabel and Lupe.
Okay. What? Oh. What time is it?
It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh
No, it's probably the middle of the night. It's
Okay,
probably
it's middle of the
about, let's say it's about 11 p.m.
Okay, never mind. It's 11.
Oh. Okay, I quickly look on my phone and see whether Saul has responded, because the last thing I did was tell Saul that I need a meeting with the Chefe.
You were
Has he
tired.
responded?
You don't look like you're muted, but we can't hear you. I can't hear you,
I can.
Sebastian.
Okay,
In fact,
I'm not muted.
Everybody talk a little bit. It might be my fault.
I can hear her.
I can hear him fine.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
hear
me too.
anybody.
Me too.
Okay. I can drop and rejoin, just in
Yeah,
case you
why
can't
not?
hear me, Jason.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, lovely. All right, perfect.
You were tired and a little drunk. So it
Yeah,
was
I'm
good.
still tired and I'm
You
still
look like
drunk.
you haven't slept in a while, so I left you to let you sleep.
Thanks for that.
Isabel,
Anything that I missed?
Isabel, you can't do what this Reyes wants you to do.
I can't do what? Sorry?
You can't do what this Reyes wants you to do.
Oh, I have no intention of doing that. I think before I passed out, I made my plan. So basically, I'm gonna deliver Reyes to the cops and somehow let the Jefe know, and I hope that way I'm gonna get some money.
What cops? He's the head of the task force.
He's the head of the task force, but there are people above that, and I know at least of one non-corrupted cop, as far as I know, in my own department. So that's all we need to know in order to set him up.
Isabel would notice that Lupe looks bad.
What on earth happened in the last 3 hours? And
I was
tell me
kidnapped.
that you just drank something.
I was kidnapped by that pendejo Saul. And he and the Gulf Cartel, someone from the Gulf Cartel got into a shootout in front of my eyes.
Okay, I'm never going to touch a bottle of alcohol again if this is what happens. Hermana, you need to stay out of this whole game. The only reason why you're still one of my family members alive in Durango is because you stay out of this game. So please stay out of it.
I am not out. Not while you are in. You are my little sister, and I have to protect you. I don't care if you're police, and I'm just a normal person.
Remember, police here to care and protect. Yeah, to some extent, that's why I got into this damn job.
If you were a regular policeman, it would be different. But you're in trouble.
Yes, and that's what we're trying. So again, you got into a shootout.
I was witness into one. I didn't have a gun, or nobody was shooting at me.
And how is Saul involved in this?
I don't know. I don't know why they had him grab me, but he grabbed me on the street while I was trying to get into my car.
Okay. Do you know where Saul is now?
No, he had to run. His shithole. He took me back to his shithole apartment. I presume it was his. But he had to run from the cartel, and so I don't know where he is.
Oh, Romana, we don't seem to have any luck with the men that we get involved in our lives.
You don't like him, do you?
No, I don't. But he's my only link to the cartel. Wait, is he my only link to the cartel? Would I have any other link to the cartel?
Let's go with Saul being your connection.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't remember how much. Let's see. I think you knew that you knew the anti-cartel task force, or not. You knew the police were looking into Ignacio, but you never flat out knew why.
Yeah.
I mean, you suspicions probably, but yeah, but definitely Saul. Let's say Saul is your contact. Sure.
Saul is my contact. Okay. Okay. Something is going down tonight
Yes,
where Reyes will.
Reyes is going to try to take over.
Okay, how do you know? Did I tell you? I forgot. Did I tell you?
Um,
Is that in character or out of character, Sebastian?
In character.
Okay.
in character, no, but I have ears, and I can put numbers together as well as anybody else can.
Okay. Seeing how Reyes also hangs a hammer over your child's head, I think it's the best for all of us in our little family if we see a way to get that person out of our life. So here's what I suggest.
I've already taken steps to see that happens.
What did you do?
I don't.
That might be a good time for our first roll of the day.
Yes.
Get the truth.
Okay.
Sebastian, why don't you go ahead and get us going? This might give you a chance to get a point of stress down too if you get a hit here.
Yeah. So with hustle, so it's +1, as with everything but face. And we have 2d6.
All right, I got a 9.
9.
Okay, so on a hit, you get to reduce your stress by 1. So go ahead and do that. And then you're going to choose one of those questions to kind of shape the rest of this conversation. They can't mislead you with the truth, which means they have to tell you the whole truth. They can't mix in other stuff. They can't lie to you, and they can't stonewall you. You get to choose one of those.
Okay. So I pick one of these. Just she can't stonewall me. So that's off the table. Everything else is fine, but she can't stonewall me.
I asked a friend to kill him.
Okay.
Said, looking off to one side. Someone who's very, very good at it.
Okay. I am not against that.
Please don't you be the one to try. Please, Isabel. He will kill you. And it would break my heart.
Okay. Can you stave your friend off of killing him for, let's say, tonight?
I don't know when he's going to do things.
Okay. Because here's what I'm trying to do. I will try to get some incriminating evidence against Reyes. Just get him talking. I have some recording devices on me. And talk to the jefe and let him know that that is what I'm going to do. And I hope that is something that A, gets me on the good book with the jefe, and B, gets rid of Reyes, even if he gets shot afterward. Which, once we have the evidence, I'm fine with that. But that way, in the police, I get on the good side of Zamora because I can tell him that I'm not the most rotten apple in the bunch, and I'll get on the good side of the jefe, and hopefully there is some money in it for us as a family.
Isabel,
Mm-hmm.
I have money.
You have what?
I have money. I have the money you need. I've been saving it up, not telling anyone.
That's much appreciated, sister, but I can't take your money. You will need your money for yourself and your children once your deadbeat husband stops doing his payments. And this is also basically in order to secure my own position within the police, because else I'm right now feeling way too much heat in the city.
Mi hermanita,
See,
you're not alone maybe you think I can't do anything because I'm not a
I
pistolero.
believe that you are a highly capable person, Miyamina. But just tell your friend to stave it off for the rest of the night, okay? Couple of phone calls, couple of meetings tonight, and I hope I can get this whole thing sorted and myself in a better position rather than feed forward out of Durango, which I really rather not happen.
Is that a pressure someone?
It's not really a deal, yeah. So if anything, it's pressuring, yeah.
Let's roll it.
Okay.
See what happens. All right.
It's a 6, so no.
Okay, on a miss. So I'm going to have Lupe. You can have a 10 plus without needing to roll. You can pressure, get the truth, justify your behavior, or propose a deal to Isabel. You get a freebie.
I can't promise that. Reyes is well protected, and God help me, I've asked someone to kill him, and it may not happen exactly when I want it to happen. But it may happen only when it's possible. But you have to promise me you won't go after him.
No, I will not go after him. I will simply have a little chat with him while the tape recorder is running.
Is that the pressure someone there, Brandon?
Yeah, no, that
Promise not to go after him?
don't. If she doesn't want to go after him, I'm going to say, don't do it, mi hermana. If he discovers what you're doing, he'll just kill you.
So let's say that's the 10 plus on pressure someone. So
Yes.
Isabel, if you can follow her lead or mark stress.
Okay. Well, I want this to be interesting, so I'll just take stress.
Perfect.
Yes, you nod and you agree, and I know that you're not.
Yeah.
Telling the truth.
Let's move this scene towards where you guys are going next. Let's move towards ending this one. So just, keep going to kind of lead into where broadcast where your characters will be next when we check with them next here.
Okay, so my character next will try to arrange a meeting with Zamora and basically propose a deal to Zamora to say, I have a bigger stinking apple to offer for you. So instead of shooting you, you're going to help me have a bugged conversation with Reyes.
Okay. And where do we see Lupe heading?
And Lupe is trying to find Ignacio.
Okay.
Still.
Okay.
She just keeps adding to the things that she wants to take him to tennis court.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Let's close that one there, and we'll check in with you guys here in a minute. Let's check with Saul. Saul, so when we last saw you, you jumped off of like a roof onto the ground, and you sprained your leg, and were making your escape from the shootout at your apartment. Where do we see Saul when we check in with him here?
I think we see Saul on the streets between the buildings, panically looking like from behind the corner to see if he's being pursued with like a bloody hand, not his blood, but his bloody hand, because he was beating this guy to death. He like takes the phone and
let's say you have that text from Isabel, amongst others probably, but.
So Isabella texted me. How about the meeting? Or
What was it? Do you think it said, Sebastian?
Basically, I'm saying no, as far as I remember, it was actually a phone call with you where I was successfully pressuring you last time, saying
That's true.
I must have a meeting with the Jefe tonight.
Sure. Yeah, Ignacio takes his phone and we'll call. What was her name? Eredina. Yeah. No. First he's going to call because he was actually tasked with doing this by Navegante, but I don't think I can reach him unless Angel took his phone. I'm not sure because I'm first going to call Navegante, and if he doesn't pick up, then Eredina.
I'm going to say Navigante retreated back to his own car, so I think he got his phone back. I don't remember. You didn't take it, did you, Daniel? I don't think you did. Okay. So yeah, you can call him if you want.
Yeah, let's call him.
Okay, so he picks up. He says, "Do you got the Angel's woman?"
Senor Navigante, I had her, but the bastard must have dealings with Gulf Cartel. They jumped all over me and my pandilla as soon as we retreated to the safe house. I think the Gulf Cartel has her now, but Senor Navigante, I'm not sure if I did good, but in the shootout, I took particular interest and Chavez, I took him down. I think he will no longer be a problem for us. I know I wasn't tasked to doing it, but I saw the opportunity and I did it. So I don't know. I'm sorry.
So go ahead and justify your behavior. That's with face.
Oh, I didn't roll the dice. Awesome.
Bam.
Wow, 13.
Whoa, those dice help.
There you go. The boxcars. All right, great. He goes, all right. We don't need her anymore anyways. And it cuts to show Navigante, and he's driving in a car, and Angel is sort of slumped over in the back seat of this Bronco that's driving down the road, and he's all, he's got zip ties on his hands. He goes, the Jefe is calling everybody in to the football stadium. Make your way there.
Of course, Senor Navigante. I was tasked with having a contact with this crooked cop who was working for us, and she called me, said that she must meet Jefe tonight before the stadium. So I think the cops know what's happening with the stadium. How should we arrange the meeting? Can we arrange the meeting? I can drive her there in the cab. So
he says, what would that be? It might not even be a roll. Just looking to see if there's any roll there at all. I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, he says, let your really good roll forward into this. So he says, all right, a little bit of police protection wouldn't hurt. I think there's going to be some action tonight. Pick her up and bring her there. Try to get her there within the hour.
Yes. Thank you, senor.
Click. And the camera sticks with that Bronco driving down the road, and Angel, you start to wake up. You're real groggy. Your head's throbbing. You got like a bandage over that ear. Last time we played, your ear was shot off, and you've got a bandage over it, so you don't have that -1 ongoing any longer. And like I said, you're sitting in the back of this Bronco, and you've got like your hands are zip tied, and you don't have any of your weapons, but you feel that comforting feel of one of your knives in your boot, that maybe they didn't find your boot knife. For some reason in action movies, they never find that boot knife, right? And there's a guy driving, and then Navigante's in the front seat, and he picks up. You heard him you heard that the end of that conversation. Maybe you heard Saul's voice, and he hangs up, and then he dials another number, and he says something like, "Yeah, we're almost there right now. I can see the stands from here," and you see that you're kind of coming up the top of a hill, and you can see kind of in the near distance, not too far away, maybe a couple blocks, you see the relatively high stands of the football stadium. You're approaching, driving through the city, and then you hear this whistling sound, this loud whistle. It gets louder and louder, and suddenly there's a huge explosion. And the truck goes toppling over. The camera, would be catching you guys flopping around inside this truck. I'd like you to roll to push your luck.
Okay. Push my luck is grit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 10.
Great. So you get toppled over, and luckily, surprisingly, you're not injured. And you see, the truck, after it comes to a stop, it's upside down, and the driver is knocked unconscious or dead, and there's like flickering flames kind of starting to grow around the truck, and you see Navigante's crawling out of the truck. What do you do?
Okay. I want to get if I have my hands tied with together. I maybe want to get behind, crawl out of the truck. Also, after Navigante, get behind him, and put my hands around his neck and try to strangle him.
Okay. Turn to violence.
Okay. So that's savagery. And I rolled an 11.
Great. All right, so you're going to make 3 of those choices there. Inflict terrible harm, suffer little harm, resist marking stress, or avoid collateral damage.
I want to inflict. I choose 2, right? No, 3 of them.
3.
Okay. Inflict terrible harm, suffer little harm, and resist marking stress. So the first 3.
Okay, so we'll have collateral damage then.
Yeah.
You get behind Navigante, and he struggles, but then he goes limp. You've killed him, and he's unable to do anything to you in return. You had the jump on him completely. But then, and you do it coldly and coolly, professionally, right? You don't take any stress. But then the truck behind you explodes. Push your luck again.
Okay.
6.
And that's 6.
Okay.
We're really going in different directions.
I know. You're going to get thrown. It's not going to kill you or anything, but you're going to get thrown. By the explosion, you get thrown against the wall, and take a stress for that.
Okay, great.
And you see, stepping kind of down the road, you see someone there's an apartment building, and on the balcony of the second floor, you see someone has an RPG. Clearly, that's what hit you guys. And then a couple other guys step out of a truck, and they start walking towards you, and they've got assault rifles out. A couple guys start moving towards you.
Is there something I can hide behind for a while, or just take cover behind something? I want to try to get my knife out of my boot and free my hands before they come here, and then I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and push your luck once again, then.
Okay.
Halfway down.
11.
Okay. Absolutely. So they come over and they don't even get that close. They look back, they look around, they see Navigante's dead, they see the truck has exploded, and they turn as though they're going to leave. And you go ahead, you successfully get your boot knife out and cut those zip ties off.
Can I try to engage them? How many are they? Did you
There's
say?
2 guys with assault rifles. They're about 30 feet from you. And then there's that other guy kind of overlooking the situation with the RPG from the balcony. You certainly could. It would be tough. I will tell you, too, you could definitely slip away also if you wanted to. In the darkness of the alleys and the buildings.
Okay, I need some weapons, so I will try to, again sneak behind one of them, and maybe try to kill him with my knife, and then take his assault rifle. Use his assault rifle to kill another one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
kind of like sneak as they turn. You like come out of the. If it works, you come out of the darkness. Take one out and shoot the other one with. Grab his assault rifle and shoot him with it or something. That's the plan, right?
That's my intention. Yeah.
Okay. I think what we'll do to bring that all into one roll. Let's just call that turning to violence, and we'll interpret it all based on what you roll here.
Okay.
10. All right.
10.
So let's say you do that. So you grab the, you come up, you kick him in the knees or something and break his knee, knock the one guy down, grab his assault rifle, and choose the 3 things you want to
do. Okay, so this time I will choose everything other than resist marking stress. I want to do this as clean as possible.
You'll go ahead and take the stress.
Yeah.
So I think with an assault rifle, with a series of good rolls, go ahead and tell me how you take out these 3 Gulf Cartel thugs.
I take the first one is I get behind him and slit his throat with a knife, and then I take his assault rifle and shoot the other one. And then I take, I push away the one that I caught, and take a assault rifle, and then find a good spot to aim and shoot, shoot the one on the balcony or on the one that the RPG guy. And I try to do this with as little bullets as possible, to keep as quiet as possible.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and I cleared the mercy. I think I cleared the mercy key.
Yeah, that sounds pretty. Yeah, that doesn't sound very merciful. Great.
Okay.
So go ahead and clear that. Pick a new one. Take an advance. Where I think that might be the end of that scene, but where do you think we'll be picking up with Angel next? Well, don't think about where we'll be next. We'll come back around, and you can kind of fit in wherever we're at.
Okay, great.
So let's see, who should we check in with? Let's check in with Ignacio. So Ignacio, what do we see, Ignacio? You're locked into your Mitsubishi lab. You have your phone. What do we see you doing?
I mean, help me understand the situation here. I am basically confined to my quarters, so to speak. But as per the role, I'm just being monitored closely. My actions are not being locked to one thing, and so long as I don't go out of sight, they're okay with me, right?
Yeah. So let's take away that you're not locked in. They expect you to be there working. They want you to be cooking, right?
Yeah.
But they're not watching you carefully. They seem distracted. So yeah, you can move around in the as long as you stay in the football field. They're okay. And like I said, there's it's about 11 o'clock, 11:30 now, and the football field is full of all of these trucks, cartel trucks, but also all the different labs that they have around the city. It looks like they dragged them all here to kind of bring everybody together, and they're pushing everybody to cook.
Yeah.
And it looks like just about everybody the Hefe's got is here at this point. There's lots of guards watching the perimeter. You might even see the Hefe is driven up, and his special truck is there, and his guards are, standing beside him. The lieutenant that you usually talk to, Enadina, she's here. She's got her black Audis parked there somewhere. So yeah,
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
So basically, everyone is gathered in one place, but nothing. They're supervising the whole thing, but no violence, no chaos, no panic at the moment. Everything's
Nope.
calm and cooking. All right. I think. Huh, I think I look at my phone, and Ignacio looks at his phone, and he proceeds to text. What's her name? My brain is shorting out. Proceeds to text Lupe's sister, Isabel. It's Isabel, right?
Yep.
Yeah. To say like, hey, I'm kind of, I'm stuck in a jam right now, and describes like what's going on here. I know what you do, and right now something is going down in this football field, and whether or not Isabel actually knows that, Ignacio doesn't know. So he's telling Isabel right now, like, something funny is going on in the football field, and I'm mixed up in it.
May I interject something?
Sure.
One of the texts that you see from back a little while ago is a bunch of texts from Lupe saying, "Where the are you?" Okay. In fact, she's been texting you about 3 times a day.
Sure.
Just saying, you bastard, when I find you, you better have an explanation for disappearing over the last few days, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. No, I like that. I think what happens is Ignacio texts Isabel that, and so when he sends the message, like he just opens the right message, sends it, and then that's when he sees like all of those messages that he's missed, and he's scrolling back, and he's like, sweat on his brow, being like, oh shit, and that's when he he looks around and sees the guard outside, and texts Lupe and tells her, I where am I? I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble, Miyamor, and I don't know how I can keep the truth from you if if I'm going to get out of this.
Immediate text back. Where are you?
I am in the football field. There's plenty of stuff going on right now.
I will be there. I will be there in 15 minutes.
And Ignacio texts back very quickly and says, no, don't go. Which is, the cartel is here, and Ignacio bites his tongue, stiffens his lip and goes, I'm here, and I've been working for the cartel.
And she just, in Spanish, this is great because it's so short, but it says "yo sé," which means I know.
Sorry, what? You're all what?
It says in Spanish it's "yo sé." It's just like 4 letters, so it means I know. That's the text you get back, and then after that, she's not responding to your text.
All right.
She's gonna show up.
Oh yeah, Nasha's fucking trouble. Does that count as clearing out the secrets, or?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
So yeah,
All right.
take an advance, pick a new one. Looks
All right.
good. And then Isabel, you get that text from Saul, or not from Saul, from Ignacio. And let's say you must. We in our chat, you guys have Saul saying, "Text to Isabel, meeting with a Hefe is set. Going to pick you up with a cab. Where are you?" And then Isabel responded, "Good. Front of the police station. 45 minutes." So I'm picturing maybe Isabel, you're driving to the police station to get picked up by Saul, right? And you get this text
Exactly.
from Ignacio.
I'm driving there, and basically there I try to get a conversation with Zamora going before I get picked up. Yeah, hopefully I don't yet know if I want to load him into my car or not, but that's basically while I'm driving there. So just while I'm driving in front of the police station, I check my phone and I see that I got the message from Ignacio, and I curse and go, "This city is eating my whole family alive." I'm just basically texting him back. I know things are going down. Describe in as much detail to me as possible what's happening right now. That's more or less what I text.
I think if it's okay, I think in response to that, like Ignacio like looks out the window of his van, tries to get a moment, and if you'll indulge me, get a moment when the guard is not really paying attention and calls Isabel, and we don't have to fully RP out, and sort of like gives the lay of the land. And as he's doing this, he's also talking about how, look, I can help you. I can help you, do what you need to do if you get me out of here. But also, I can create a distraction. And at that point, like Ignatius just got his phone like on his shoulder, and he's just running around like rummaging through the chemicals. Yeah, and trying to set something up.
Okay. Is that your Ciencia move?
Yeah, Ciencia Cabron.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll that. When you try to jury something with science, roll with grit. Do you know what? Let's just leave it like Blades in the Dark style. You can you can declare what it is you created when the opportunity comes up. So let's just roll to see how well it goes in creating some MacGyver stuff.
Sure.
Grit.
All right. Rolling with grit. Oh, Lord,
right.
Thank you. That's 12.
All right. You guys are rolling well today. You create an opportunity or buy yourself some time. So I think we'll just say you created some sort of, contraption that you can pull out when the time comes today. Okay. So just, you got that in your back pocket. And I think as you're rummaging around, you're looking out the window and stuff, and you're talking about distraction. Well, Isabel, you get a text from Zamora saying, Reyes is sending us in. The Hefe's only got a couple guards with them. Meet us at the football field ASAP. And Matthew, you see several police cars like on each end of the stadium where that fence is. A couple of police cars pull in and like screech to a halt with sirens. The lights are flashing and whatnot. And they come in and the cops jump out and they yell like Los Federales, Los Federales. And they are vastly outnumbered. And immediately the Hefe's crew, after a brief pause of like turning and going, what the fuck? They pull out their automatic weapons and start shooting at these cops. These cops are in desperate straits. And one of them is Zamora. Okay. So let's take our break there. That'll kind of set the stage for our next set of scenes. Everybody think of where they want to be next. And I'll see you. Let's just take 5 so we can get back to it quickly. So I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. I wonder if Angel picked up that RPG, Daniel.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wanted to. I take the of course the assault rifle and maybe a gun from the guys, but since I cleared my key, I have an advancement, and one of the advancements is to have choose 2 new weapons. So maybe I can. There is no RPG on the list, but there's a grenade launcher, so maybe we can change it.
Sure.
And also for second weapon, if I can find maybe a sniper rifle.
Absolutely.
That'd be nice. So yeah, I scrounge for weapons, and then I go to the stadium. That's my plan.
Mm-hmm.
you and two big
Yeah,
duffel bags.
And further than that, I don't have a good plan. Yeah, we'll see.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, so RPG.
Lupe's driving there. Pavel says he'll be a minute, so that's okay. And Isabel, when Sebastian's back, we'll get back into it. I'm glad you got that Ciencia Cabron move out, Matthew. I saw that was one of the moves we haven't seen on the table yet this game, so I'm glad we got that out there.
Do you want it to be explosive or non-explosive?
Surprise me.
I mean, just talking before we spin up, like, honestly, I'm just worried for all the federales, as a player, not as a character, because I'm just like, how are they going to get out of this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And I don't think Ignacio can. I don't think there's any way Ignacio can meaningfully help in that equation, not without dying.
All right, Sebastian's back. So Pavel will be a minute, but he'll jump in when he gets here. Okay. So for Angel,
could you just clarify the scene that we ended on, because I didn't quite understand.
Sure.
Who was where, when, and was exactly overpowered?
Right. So the Isabel got a text from Zamora, the good cop, saying something like, make your way to the football stadium. The Jefe's there with just a couple of his guys. We're going to grab them. And we cut to see the police arriving at the football stadium, with a few cars. There's maybe a half a dozen cops, and Zamora and a few other cops. And they're vastly outgunned and outmanned. And a shootout entails. Matthew was busily mixing up some sort of chemicals to create some, Frankenstein's monster of equipment here. So yeah, that's where kind of ended. So I think at this point, Angel, you can jump into the action wherever. Angel is nearby. You could have been lurking, sneaking, getting to a position, whatever you want.
Yeah. I want to get in a good position, maybe on top of the stand somewhere in the dark, and get my sniper rifle ready, and of course the RPG handy. And I wait for to see if there's a shootout. I'm just waiting for start to see if there's some big guy. If I can see some of the top guys, either the Jefe or Lieutenant Reyes showing up.
Okay, so let's leave you there looking through your sniper scope. And like I
Yeah.
said, as we play out different scenes, you can be the guy that jumps in at any point, so you pick your spot. Let's see. Let's pick up with Isabel arriving at the police station. Saul's there in a taxi. Are you in your BMW or did you pick up a regular taxi? Do you think, Saul?
Saul did a couple of things. I don't think he picked up his BMW. He went to the cab company and picked up one of the cabs. In the meantime, we see that he did his shirt, which was like full on bloody, so he's like shirtless with like pistol behind his belt, and he's slightly wet, which shows that he was like trying to clean from the blood. And he's there in the cab waiting.
Okay.
So
Isabel drives up.
I think
ahead.
I just drive up in front of the police station. I recognize the car. I wave at it, and I basically put my phone on the car in front of me and just put it on speaker while I put the back of my car open and strap on my bulletproof vest, because I figure whatever happens, I will need a bulletproof vest. And I will also pack my my electric bugs into my side, my recording devices, which I also have there. And I basically try to see whether I can get Zamora on the phone or not while I'm there, just wrapping myself up.
And we'll assume from here on out that you're recording anything that's going on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you get Zamora on the phone. You hear gunfire and yelling. And Zamora's like, Reyes fucked us.
Well, I was about to tell you that he's just here to replace the Jefe with himself. In fact, are you okay? Are you in earshot?
Of you?
No, of anybody of anybody who's in with Reyes.
The Jefe, they got us pinned down. It's just me and he names the rest of the cartel, or the anti-cartel task force.
Okay.
I don't see Reyes or his bitches here at all.
Okay, fair enough. Try to hold out there. I see if I can negotiate a ceasefire between you and the Jefe.
Okay. He says, hurry. We're not going to last long.
Okay.
Click.
Okay. So then I'm strapped up. I speed up as much as I can, bump into the car side of Sal and say, okay, hit the iron.
Sure do.
Very good. You know what? All of this today could have been prevented if you had just picked up my phone earlier this morning when I was giving you a call, it feels like.
Maybe. We'll never know.
You want to call that verbally abuse or shame?
No,
That's pretty mild.
That's
Okay.
gonna happen slightly later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we see any other conversation or anything in the drive over there? Do you let Saul know that there's a gun battle going on? In fact, you guys probably, as you're driving, I'm going to say you're not very far away. So I'm going to say you probably hear the pop, pop, pop of guns firing louder and louder as you approach. I don't think there's any surprise there.
Yeah.
Oh, seems like there must be exchanging fire with the Gulf Cartel. I'm going to drive us to from the back.
Yeah, get us to the Jefe. This is, as far as I can tell, Reyes trying to set up the cartel against the federals.
Okay. So let's say you guys park and then you move, sneakily through the stands or something, through the side of this to avoid, getting caught in the crossfire. And Lupe, you can show up whenever you want to. You're just kind of driving there, so I'll leave it to you, Brandon, as to when Lupe is going to make her appearance.
So it's like really curious after Isabel said it, and Saul looks at you and he says, So if you're saying that someone above you is trying to set up cartel versus Los Federales, then what side are you on? Are you with us or are you with them?
Get the truth.
I mean, are
Let's
you?
roll
I mean,
that.
are you going there to just like kill off Jefe using the opportunity? I don't know.
Go ahead and roll get the truth, and then we'll see what Isabel says.
Get the truth. It's with face. No
Hustle.
hustle. I'm good with hustle. I mean, I think I am.
Okay.
It's a 9.
So you get a clear stress, and you can shape the conversation with one of those choices.
Yeah, I'm going to pick that you cannot mislead me with falsehood. Cannot confuse me with falsehood.
All right. In this case, basically, I'm gonna say which is true. Well, you know me and my life situation. I'm deep in debt. Obviously, I'm with you. You think I'm ever going to get any kind of money out of the police? So of course I'm siding with Jefe.
So not good choice. Good choice.
So let's say you guys would move through the stands, and you, I think you're moving to the Jefe. That's where you're aiming for. So let's pick up there. You move through the stands. You said the Jefe. He's laughing. He's in high spirits. He's got a goat horn, an AK-47. He's taking pot shots from behind a truck, at the cops. Clearly he and his people have the upper hand here. Maybe we see one of the cops get hit and killed or knocked down at least. And he sees you come in, Saul, and he slaps you on the back and he says, "Join the fun, son."
Okay.
Sorry, yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any formal way of addressing the Jefe?
He's I don't think you've ever met him. I mean, take your shot at it. He's kind of a stout man, probably in his mid-30s. He's got a big mustache. We have a picture of him in here somewhere. Yeah. And he's dressed in like ranchero clothes, like blue jeans and like a cowboy shirt, cowboy hat, cowboy boots. He's got several of his people around him, of course. Yeah, probably just the Jefe.
Okay, Jefe, please hear me out. I know we've never met before in person, but the people that you're taking a shot at right now as Federales are not the people that you should be concerned about. I know that my boss Reyes has it in for you today here at the stadium to take you out. And if there is one thing I know about him, and if there's one thing I know about the number of troops that he can musters, then it is that motley crew over there is not the main force you need to be worried about. In fact, it includes some of the few non-corrupted cops here in the city. So if everything I know about Reyes is right, then the only reason he presents them to you as a platter right now is in order to create a decoy.
He goes, so you're saying those are clean cops over there? I love clean cops. This is my best day ever. What are you trying to say? What are you proposing here?
I'm proposing to you that with the help of these clean cops, we can take out Reyes tonight. But for that, you need to stop shooting them. Because, as I tell you, these clean cops are only a decoy right now to keep you busy, and I don't know when Reyes is going to show up, but he's going to show up here soon in some other fashion in a way that you are absolutely not prepared for. So instead of focusing your attention there, let me meet up with them, and I'll find a way with a bugging system that I have on me right now to put some dirt on him and put him away.
He says, Reyes has been working with me for weeks now. He's on the payroll. You're trying to tell me that he's a bad guy? He's out to get me? he looks around and he looks at you, Saul, and he says, "You got anything to say about this, son?"
Wow. You have to remind me, because at some point last session I learned that Chavez, before I met him at the end of the gun, he was meeting with someone. I think the cops told me that Chavez is meeting with someone from the police, or not?
Yeah, I think he had some reference something about someone in the police. I think it was probably, given what you've learned and know, you probably would have been able to put one and one together. I think he's probably referring to Reyes, that Reyes and the Gulf Cartel were involved. I think you kind of already knew that, but yeah.
Yeah, Saul says, yes, I have. Earlier today, before I took out Chavez, I learned that he was meeting with some cops. So yeah, possibly Reyes might have been working with Chavez, but Chavez is down, so I took him out.
I think all of this is worth a roll. I think it's propose a deal. I think you're basically saying, work with me and we'll work, I'll try to get these cops to work with us against Reyes, right? Is that kind of what you're aiming for here, Sebastian?
Work with me. Don't kill the cops. If it doesn't work with Reyes, you can still kill him here tonight. There is no issue with here. But if we catch him alive with dirt on him, basically, you're gonna probably have me at a higher position as an inside man instead of Reyes, who turns against you.
Right. And Ignacio, Matthew, you can jump in at any point too. You're nearby. You could have been watching this. You could be walking around. Whatever. You can put yourself wherever you please too. So, but I think let's go ahead and roll that. Let's roll propose a deal. Isabel, go ahead and roll it, and then
Saul will there. And actually plus one more, because I forgot that's face, right? And I have two face now. So yeah, 14.
All right. They take the deal. He says, okay. You get those cops to give me immunity to, I guess he can't really even put a condition on it. So he says, okay, fine. You go talk to those cops and we'll sort this thing out. And he waves, he yells and waves to all of his people, stop firing, hold your fire, and they all stop. And then the police fire peters out also.
Okay. And I think I'll use that to basically, use my police bullet vest to sort of step in the middle of the gunfight and say, ceasefire, and try to approach the cops that way, so they recognize me and they recognize the bullet vest with police written on it.
Right. Yeah, I think Zamora steps up. He steps up from behind one of the cars, and he shakes his head and he says, "Isabel, how did you do this?" And he gestures for you to come on over.
Yeah. So I say to him, well, in Durango, it's the devil you know versus the devil you suspect.
And on Hell, you see from your elevated position that moving through the street, you see several caravans of vehicles moving towards the stadium.
So this would be a good time for Lupe to
I'm
show
guessing.
up.
Yeah. I was wondering where Lupe is, but I'm guessing that's Reyes coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. So just before
go ahead,
things drop in the pot, this is the right time for Lupe to show up.
Yeah, go ahead,
Brendan.
Yeah.
Especially since the gunfight has stopped.
And then Lupe drives up, maybe nearby to Zamora and Isabel there.
Yes.
And Zamora says,
out of a car and she has fire in her eyes. She has a "don't fuck me" look with her.
Okay, so yeah, I'm waiting. I'm just confused with everything that's happening, and I'm still waiting. I'm wondering who waiting for Reyes to show up somewhere closer. I want him closer.
Right.
That's what I'm focused on. But I'm also keeping an eye on the Jefe.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So she, if she doesn't, I don't know who she sees, when she first gets out of her car, but she's.
Let's say Zamora and Isabella right there. That's convenient. And also, Saul, did you stay with the Jefe or did you walk over to the cops with Isabel?
I had no reason to go to the cops, so I'm
No.
staying with Pepe. Saul is actually going between the guys trying to get on a rifle. He might need it later.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So yeah. She'll go right up to Zamora and Isabel. Where's Ignacio?
And of course, we see
Nobody's
his
here.
truck. We see his Mitsubishi van, right? In the midst of the Jefe's, little.
This is his Cocinero van, right? I've never seen it.
So
That's true. That's true.
Where is Reyes in this and the rest in this positioning?
He
Reyes
hasn't.
isn't here yet.
He's nowhere to be seen. Angel has some suspicions, but
God. So
Where's Ignacio? Does somebody point me? I will cheerfully browbeat who's ever in reach.
you want Ignacio to show up here in this scene?
Well, no, I want
Matthew?
to be pointed at his van. That's fine.
Okay.
I
I
will
don't
stalk
know if
over
any
there.
of these guys. I don't know if any of these. Well, I think let's say Zamora. He says, Ignacio. I think that's his van. We've been watching him.
Okay, she stalks over there.
Okay.
And
I
reaches the door.
have an absolute desperate expression in my face, and
She stalks over there with fire in her eyes and practically wrenches the door off its hinges. She opens it and it bangs against the side of the van.
Lupe, go ahead and push your luck just to see if any complications come out of all this.
Sure.
That's with grit.
Okay.
Although I think we might be able to call this. Would this be Reina del Drama? Maybe this dramatic step through a highly tense situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's just call it.
That's 100% that.
Yeah, she's not trying to be
Marcus,
subtle or anything like that.
Yeah.
She's where's that cabron Ignacio? It's like anybody who she has anybody who fucks with me look gets everything they deserve on her face.
So everybody in the scene just stops with their jaw open and gapes at you. This beautiful woman marching across this highly tense battlefield, basically.
Yeah. So I opened the door and opened it hard enough to the bang. Then it makes a terrific bang.
And you see when you rip the door open, well, not rip the door off its hinges, but when you pull the door open, you see that Ignacio has like not surprised, but sort of just like a very involved look in his face. Like, his hands are stained, and it's clear that he's been focused on a task for quite some time. Like he's just he lost himself for so long, like he forgot about he did that 100% you're likely to come over and like shoot his ass out.
Madre de Dios, is this God? This thing stinks. Is this why your clothes always smell?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you're going to put down whatever it is that you're doing, and you're going to come out here, and you're going to explain things. But first, and she's going to grab you by the suspenders and haul you out of there.
Yeah. Okay. Ignacio gets pulled, and he's sort of like, you can see he's sort of like dejected, and
so this is
just
where you've been?
allowing this to happen.
This is where you've been. You've been in this filthy thing, ignoring all of your responsibilities for the past few days.
Responsibilities. I'm here. I'm here trying to provide for my family.
Yeah, this is the way you provide for your family. Fuck the way you provide for your family.
Well, what else was I supposed to
You
do?
bastard! It
Every
doesn't. You
single
can
job.
provide for your family all you want. You can neglect them at the same time.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said provide for your family. The one you neglect, you mean? The one you the when you don't even return their phone calls?
Half the time I spend, half the time I spend making money. The other half trying
The
to
other
get
time,
keep my ass out of the fire.
So I
I'm
think
not.
this
I'm not
sounds
going
like
to. I'm not
one
going to
moment.
talk. Sorry, good.
Let's have Matthew Ignacio go ahead and roll justify your behavior. So
Okay.
this is I think it sounds like you're pretty emotional. So you can use your Chalone move, which allows you to roll with grit instead of face.
Sure. All right.
Chillon.
Chillon. Oh.
Chillon. The two L's are yeah.
This is it's a 6.
It's a 6.
Bad.
I think
Bad
this session
idea.
anybody who rolls against me gets a 6.
Oh my God! Jesus Christ, that's a
Because,
superpower.
there are other people around. Does anybody want to get engaged in this and somehow assist Ignacio explaining himself to his wife, or is everyone just staying out of this one?
Yeah. Be warned that there are consequences to that action.
I don't hear anybody stepping forward. Saul,
Yeah,
you want to get involved?
Yeah, I think Saul steps over from the
Okay.
van,
Hold on, let's see what Saul does.
Yes.
sees it. Like, Ignacio, here you are. Oh, Lupe, the one who has been screwing up with Angel, her faithful
Okay.
husband.
I pick up anything that comes to hand, and I go after Saul with it.
Okay.
I'm not.
Let's
This is
finish
not meant necessarily to be an effective move.
Sure.
This is just fury.
Okay.
If I don't have
Let's,
nothing comes to hand, I will use my fingernails.
Oh, I got some ideas. Let's see how these rolls go, and we'll maybe bring
Just
that
like
in.
if there's like a some fireplace poker equivalent thing. It's like
well, there's all kinds of chemicals and
Yeah,
stuff
okay.
playing around. So yeah, there's some good stuff here.
the
First
moment
of all,
Saul comes
Saul,
out,
let's do your assist then. So you can wager. You're at 3 stress. You can wager 1 or 2 stress to try to help out Ignacio.
I'm really rooting for my good old friend Ignacio, although not in the best way that I could said it, but I'm waging 2 stress. I really want him to succeed.
All right, you don't take the stress. Now you just roll and you add 2. Looks like you just did.
6.
You got a 6. All right, so that didn't work out. So you take that stress. So you're maxed out at 5 stress. You're overwhelmed now. And on the justify yourself on the miss.
it says, "Well, the helper."
It's just a hard move. Okay, so I think what happens then is there's a roar of high-powered trucks approaching that come from both sides behind where the cops are. So there's like the Hefe's crew are on the field, the cops are right outside the fence, and now the Gulf Cartel have arrived. They're another 10, 15, 20 yards, forming like a barrier, keeping the cops and everybody penned inside here. And they arrive and they start to shoot. So now Isabel and Zamora and the other cops are all caught in this, in between these 2 cartel forces. What's that, Brandon?
Can I resolve the remainder of my action before the shooting starts?
Sure.
Okay, because okay, so the Saul comes over to try to help. Isabel Lupe turn on him with fire in his eyes, grab anything that came to mind, and paste him with it. So that
sounds like verbally abuse or shame, or do you think you're dishing out a beatdown?
That sounds like violence, in my opinion.
This is
turn to violence.
This is just fury.
You want to go turn to violence?
But it could be a return to violence. But I was thinking, since you rolled a 6 to help or interfere, prepare for the worst. I think this counts as the worst. Okay. He gets a face full of some chemical.
Yeah.
Let's
roll
Lupe is
turn
just
to
screaming
violence.
at him. Lupe wasn't trying to hurt him. This is just.
I think what we'll do turn to violence, and if you get a miss, like you don't mean to hurt him badly, but if you get a miss, you're going to hurt him badly.
I see. Oh.
That's what I will do.
Yes, I'm terrible at turning to violence.
And I know you're terrible at. So this is probably going to be.
I'm not trying to.
Roll with savagery.
All right, here it comes.
All right,
Yep,
as we
that's a
expected.
miss.
So I think you grabbed a beaker of some, it looks like water, but it's hydrochloric acid.
Oh,
And you were
I'm
going
so
at Saul.
sorry,
You were
Saul.
going at Saul, right?
Yeah, that was after Saul. Yes, and then I throw it at Saul. It crashes against him, and I turn, without really seeing what it did to him. I just turned and said, "This fucker friend of yours had me kidnapped and
I
got into a gunfight in front of my eyes, and you dare tell me that this is any kind of a way to make a living? I would rather have you dig ditches in the streets." Do something that at least if when your son asks what you do, you don't have to lie, lie through your fucking ass to him. And Lupe is incandescent.
Is this
and with
verbally
fury.
shaming?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll that then. So roll with face.
do I see what happened to Saul? Like, is he
Oh
okay?
yeah, oh yeah. No, Saul is holding his head and sizzling is happening with Saul. He's in a great deal of pain.
Um. Oh, well, first of all, I try to get. I guess I have something. I hope like on me to
Mhm.
wipe off the acid or to rinse off the acid.
Neutralizing agent or something.
Yeah, something like that on my person. And as I'm doing that, like I don't mean to trivialize the action. It's just like I know we're in a tense situation and we're trying to keep things moving quickly. But let's just say like I'm taking care of Saul, and as I do that, like I turn to Lupe and I go, uh, mm, uh, yeah, listen, woman, have you gone crazy? And I grab her wrist and I say, "Look, we can settle this. We can, I'll come, I've come clean to you. I'll come clean to my son. I'll come clean to everyone, and maybe we can, you know, straighten things out. But
That was all.
we,
And I don't mean to talk over you, but she talks over you.
yeah, no
Yeah,
problem. I
that
got it.
pendejo
I get it.
Saul, I told you it was no good. Police are now, going to kill people here. Are you insane? Do you want Alejandro to go up without a father? And she starts to scream, cry at you.
Yeah, no. So what?
So tears are running down her face. Tears of fury are running down her face, and
Yeah, and
and
I'm pressuring you to go along with me. Is basically what's going on. I love the
okay,
drama that you're putting in here.
sure.
So as the tears and the I hate to use the word like the hysterics or whatever, like as the justified hysterics. Ignacio pressures
She's
you
not
to
hysterical. Her vocabulary is
yeah.
her vocabulary is inventive and and striking. It's just
Yes,
you
yeah,
you didn't know that
colorful.
she knew that many curse words actually.
No, I think Ignacio didn't know that there were that many curse words in the language. Period. So there you go. um,
Okay, so
but I
let's
want to
go ahead.
pressure
Let's
someone.
do the
She
pressure someone.
Yeah, she
And
got
Saul, let me tell Pavel that your Ignacio is giving you like he's giving you some like bottle of like neutralizing agent to pour all over your head and face. You're in a horrible state. You're super stressed out. So you're going to need to make a stress move as soon as possible, or there's something bad's going to happen. So let me put that on Saul. And then Matthew, go ahead and roll pressure someone.
Yeah, I'm pressuring some of them. I'm saying like, we have to get out of here now, and pressure someone is a
hustle.
it is
Hustle.
it's a hustle. Woohoo! My not a great asset, I think. Let's see, what is my hustle?
One.
Yeah, +1.
Oh, not terrible. Okay, let's see, 2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
9 is a respectable
That's good.
hustle, I think.
You let
Uh,
something important slip as you bring your pressure to bear.
all right. Let's see, 7, 9. On a hit, sorry, I rolled a 9,
Right.
so they can choose one.
Yeah, so Lupe has to follow your lead or mark stress. So you have to immediately work with Ignacio to get out of here or mark stress, Lupe. And then in the course of pressuring her, you let something important slip as you bring your pressure to bear.
I don't know if this is like not the word metagaming, but power gaming, I guess. Weird. What I want to say is that it's clearly obvious that Ignacio wants to leave like right away and drag everyone he cares about or everyone else out of here because he set the cooking vans to explode. He has been walking in the amount of time I'd like to think. Like normally, if the scenes had been shorter, I'd just been like he can only blow up one van. I would
Mhm.
say he's been like moving around, but like just dropping a small chemical in every single one and like setting it to explode. And so he wants to get the fuck out of here to
Mhm.
not be here when it blows up.
Sure.
Yeah, by the way, I'm clearing the loyalty of it. I am
Oh, nice,
confronting
nice,
a loved one with evidence of their betrayals and deception. Um,
nice.
Okay.
and yeah, and your move to get her out of there somehow turns into a judo move where she is towing you out of there.
I like that.
It's like,
I do like that.
just like she's like, damn straight, we're getting out of here, and she grabs you by the front of the shirt and starts to yank.
Yeah. What was my like initiative has now become your lead. I get it.
Right.
So let's
Fantastic.
cut there for a moment. We'll come back to Saul and see what he's doing in a moment. And
Please come with us though.
Daniel, do you want to get in here?
Yeah,
Okay.
if I'm seeing Lupe getting away with Ignacio, I think I'm overcome with a great amount of jealousy, and I mean I don't want to hurt her or Ignacio, but I just want to shoot someone, and I think that will be the Jefe.
You want to shoot the Hefe? Sure.
I want to shoot the Jefe with my sniper rifle.
Okay. So yeah, let's paint the scene a little bit as you get that roll ready.
Okay.
So I think the Hefe, as these other guys arrive and start shooting at everybody, they're shooting off like RPGs, so that some trucks are exploding. Some of the Hefe's people are getting blown up, and the Hefe's taking cover, and he's swearing. And the cops, are surprised. We're going to come to Isabel in a minute, tell more about the cops, but let's go ahead and get that roll on the Hefe then. You're hitting him with the sniper rifle or the
I'm
RPG?
hitting him with a sniper rifle. Yeah, I'm still hiding, I guess, somewhere in the dark in the top of the stands, and I was just watching the situation, and I didn't see the Lieutenant Reyes as I was expecting, so I just want to clear one.
Well, let
notch.
me give you this option too. You could use your Mirar move if you want to spot Reyes, if you would prefer to shoot him.
Oh well, I was kind of wanting to save that for later, so I just want to try to shoot the Jefe first.
Okay, great. Roll with savagery.
Okay, and that's an 8.
All right, so you get to choose 2. Let me tell you, since you're shooting with a sniper rifle from cover and surprise, you don't need to bother selecting you suffer little harm because there's not going to be any fire coming back at you.
Okay.
So choose 2 of the others.
So I want to. The first one I choose is resist marking stress because I have already 4 stress, so I can't afford to mark one. And the other one is inflict terrible harm. I want to shoot him in the head.
Right. Yeah, you shoot him in the head. The Jefe, is yelling out something, and he stands up and bam, you shoot it right through his head. It's gory and horrible. And let's see, collateral damage. I think at that point, let's say an RPG hits near Ignacio's van, where Lupe and Ignacio are moving away, and Saul is trying to, ease his pain. So I'm gonna have whichever one of you guys has the best grit roll, press your luck to see if there's any consequences from this explosion. Which is probably Ignacio. Let's see, the best grit of the 3 of you Yeah, that would be Ignacio. So Matthew, roll with plus grit.
Sure. 8.
Okay.
Or 7. It's +3 instead of +2, but it's the same number.
Yeah, it's good enough. Let's see. Roll with grit on a 10 plus fortune base with 10 7 9. Something works out. Your tell you how you can turn things around. There's an explosion, and Ignacio, you're going to be separated from Lupe. What do you think that looks like?
Let's see. I think. I think when the explosion happens, we lose grip for a while, and when that happens, Lupe like moves a few steps forward before realizing that she's lost me. And then when she turns and we try to reach for each other, that's when more gunfire like crosses between us to keep us from reaching out for each other.
Right. So you both have to jump to cover in opposite directions, we'll say. So you got some distance between you.
If I may add to that, it's also like a grenade going off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it deafens and stuns. So it's like, okay, it's like you suddenly get knocked down and you look around and it's like, what's going on? Where is everybody? Why can't I hear anything? It's very disorienting to be near an explosion. So
let's leave the two of you there with your ears ringing. Hefe's been killed. There's explosions. Isabel, where do we see you? What's going on with Isabel at this point?
So basically, I'm having, and I think this is happening before the explosions and everything really go off, because else, if I recognize my family's in danger there, I'll probably go after them. But so where we catch up with her is her having a conversation with Zamora, basically saying, well, yes, Reyes set you up. He let me know that he is behind whatever is going down here, trying to replace the current cartel with himself in some form of alliance. And in fact, one of the jobs he gave me as part of that is to take you out. So I'd say we respond to that in kind, and we just try to get out of here alive, and let the cartels take it out between themselves. And with the bugs I have on me, I'll present you pseudo-dead to the Jefe together with whatever we have here as remaining troops. And once Reyes has incriminated himself, we'll just take him out together.
Go ahead and roll. Let's roll push your luck first, at least.
Okay.
So that's with grit.
That's a 9.
9. Okay. So things don't work out. But tell you how things can work out. You see over Zamora's shoulder that the Gulf Cartel have sort of cleared out the Jefe's people and the other policemen from around you guys, and you see Reyes step out of a vehicle and start moving towards you with a pistol in his hand, and he's got a couple guards with him. And they go to raise their rifles. They're going to shoot at you guys. You will be okay if you sort of put them if you put Zamora between you and them. You want to put Zamora in the crosshairs, or you want to put yourself in danger?
Okay, I'm gonna try and make it look as if I'm taking Zamora down in that moment. So basically do what Reyes asks me, and then basically don't do that, which is definitely pushing my luck, but let's try if that works. If not.
So you're trying to make it look like you're gonna get Zamora for Reyes, but really you're not. You're
grabbing Zamora and just whispering in his head, play along with me, tearing him down so that I hope he's covered by kind of whatever seats there are, so he's slightly out of sight, and then fire in his direction, but not actually shooting him dead.
Okay, so go ahead. I think this is turn to violence because they're gonna fire at the two of you then.
Yeah.
Reyes and these two thugs are gonna take shots at you guys.
Okay. I don't think at this point.
I think you mentioned earlier that you had your vest that clearly says Los Federales on it, so I'll give you credit for that.
Okay, fair enough. So then it's +1 rather than -1. It's a 6. That's not nice.
Okay. Does anyone want to try to help out Isabel here?
I would if the opportunity gives.
If you can come up with a rationale, I'd buy it. I could certainly see Angel. I know Angel's stress is almost maxed out.
Yeah, I would, but I can't really. I don't know.
I took a move that's really about heat moves, but maybe the flavor of it will help. It was just escolta. I'm not shy. Hey, Reyes, you son of a bitch. You finally show your yellow face here?
I think that's worth an assist.
Yeah.
So let's do it with the assist mechanic. So you can wager anywhere from 1 to 3. You don't actually give yourself the stress until you roll.
Oh, okay.
Because if you get a 10 plus, you don't actually take the stress.
Okay.
So how many do you want to wager? 2?
I'm wagering 2.
So roll
because
2d6 plus 2.
Because this is terrifying.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Nope.
Okay, so you ended up with a 6. So Isabel,
5 with a 5.
It's just as bad.
Yeah. Lupe rolled a 5, but you had a 6 when your initial roll, right? So it didn't go up. So you end up with a miss. So Isabel, you're gonna get fucking shot. In addition, Zamora is dead. Zamora is killed. Automatic rifle fire pierces through his bulletproof vest. He's riddled by fire, and he falls. As you guys try to take some sort of cover. And you're gonna get fucking shot. So on that move, you add 1 if it's a handgun or other small weapon. We'll say it's Reyes that's been focusing on you, so we'll give you a +1 for that. He's not an amateur. We'll say he's a pro. You do have body armor though, so you get another +1 for that. So you're gonna roll with +2. Don't get a 6- or you're dead.
Yeah. Well, it's the last round. It's a 9.
Okay. On a 9, you choose 1 and the shooter chooses 1. So it's bloody. You'll die without immediate aid. It's messy. The wound will leave an ugly scar. It's painful. -1 ongoing until you get some help.
Okay. I'm fine with going. It's painful. So
okay. So you're going to be -1 ongoing. I'm going to choose it's bloody. You'll die without immediate aid.
Okay.
Saul, what do we see Saul doing?
So after Lupa kidnaps Ignacio, Saul in pain, it hurts. Oh my god! He walks into the van and grabs the first bag of packed drugs that he sees, rips it open with a knife and takes a shot of lots of cocaine, pure cocaine produced by Ignacio.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll.
You're going to be in there when it blows up.
Yeah, that might be true. Lose yourself in a substance. Roll with grit. 6.
Unsurprisingly, it's a Italy.
Oh, the dice.
Unsurprisingly, I stay with it with the mood. It's a 6.
Okay, you're going to let's go ahead. You did take a lot of drugs, so go ahead and reduce your stress by 1. We'll give you that much. But there's what do you Matthew, what do you think it starts looking like when these chemical that you've set up start to reach the breaking point, the explosive point? Not quite there, but what would it look like on screen? It would be like smoke or fumes or bubbling, or what do you think it would be?
Yeah, I think it's bubbling fumes, and the like the pot that the contains all the leaves and so it starts turning from like green to a sort of like weirdly like red greenish like maelstrom before like it fully catalyzes.
Okay, so that's what we see. The truck is reaching critical here. And that seems like a good point to take our last break of the day. We'll come back and finish up. Let's take another 5 minutes. So my intention is to resolve the gunfight and leave room for you guys to have, interpersonal scenes before we're done. I think we're moving to the crescendo of the gunfight here.
I'm kind of planning to shoot Reyes, of course, but I want to maybe let Lupe have a word with him in a way before I try to do that, because
Yes,
they are
that
close.
would-
Yeah,
That would
so
be perfect.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Lupe, definitely you just saw your sister get shot by Reyes, so that
Yes.
sets up you were right there, sure.
So yeah, I know what she would do immediately.
So we'll probably have that. Let Angel take his shot if it still fits, and then there'll be a really big explosion. What's everybody's stress at? Everybody's well up there. Perfect. All right, everybody's back. So I was saying just a moment ago that what we're going to do, we're going to resolve the gunfight, and then I hope to leave some room for people to have some interpersonal scenes. See what you can get out of that, and then leave room for Roses and Thorns, and that'll be a session. That'll be a series of Cartel. So again, just to paint the scene, so there's explosions, there's fire, there's gunfire. The Jefe's been killed. Reyes is approaching Isabel with his pistol. She's just been shot. Zamora's just been killed. Lupe's right there, has seen this. Angel's up in the darkness with his sniper rifle still. Ignacio is kind of like tunnling behind a car or something, not too far away from where Saul is, taking drugs with a, signs of some extreme chemical reactions starting to happen. Let's pick up. I think a good place is Lupe. What's your reaction when you see your sister?
Okay, I start to run towards her. I trip. I kick off my heels, and I make it the rest of the way towards her. I grab my scarf off and jam it on whatever is bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And this is of course as Reyes is coming up, to gloat over his victims and probably finish the job.
Mm-hmm.
And probably kill me. And I look up at him and I say, I hope you rot in hell, you son of a bitch.
So he raises the pistol. Then I don't know if there's a roll there. I don't think so.
No, it's not, there's nothing I can. There's nothing I can do. And so I just close. I'm still pressing on Isabel's wound, but I can't help. I can't look at the pistol. I turn my head and I close my eyes, and saying and start to pray.
Angel, I think that's your cue.
Yeah, this is where I take my shot. Okay, so I'm watching all this from in the crosshairs, and I try to shoot Reyes in the head, and that's an 8.
Okay. Same as before. I don't think they've spotted you, so you don't need to bother with you suffer little harms. You get to choose 2 of the others.
Okay, so I choose I resist marking stress and inflict terrible harm, of course.
Okay, and you're going to cause collateral damage, though.
Yeah.
I'm right there for collateral damage.
Yeah,
I think we all
that
are.
is tempting, isn't it?
A perfectly good collateral damage is for me to get sprayed with blood as his head explodes.
Yeah, I don't know how much damage blood causes, though.
No, it would just be awful. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would be awful.
I'm not sure that if I'm not
I'll
sure
leave
that
it to the table. What feels best narratively? What seems most appropriate? Should she just get, stressed out by this gory shot and take a stress, or should somebody get shot here? I guess I'm leaning personally. I'm leaning towards the goriness. I think it's stress because it's a pretty precision shot. I don't think it's a one shot thing. The way we've set it up, it doesn't seem likely that she would be like in between the shot and. So yeah, let's go with that. I like Brandon's idea. So yeah, it's just Daniel, tell us what it looks like when you kill Reyes, and how it stresses out Lupe.
So up until that point where he raises his gun and puts it to her head while she's kneeling and praying, and I pull my trigger and I shoot him in the head, and all the blood and and the gore, everything sprays on Lupe, and when she opens her eyes, she can see the blood on her hands, when she opens her hands, she sees the blood, and Reyes just falls to the ground without any signs of life.
Lupe gives out a whimper, like nobody's heard her done, and she's trembling and crying, but she's still mashing down on Isabella's wound. She hasn't stopped that, but she is she's otherwise coming apart.
I think it's time then, Ignacio, it's moments away from this explosion. You see the smoke billowing out of each of these labs, out of these van, truck labs, RV labs. And Saul is there, snorting drugs, by the handful. What do you do, Ignacio?
Well, I would not be pleased to see Saul die, so Ignacio mutters like a tremendous curse underneath his breath and runs in to get Saul.
Okay. So what do you do when Ignacio comes and grabs you?
Yeah, like I open the door and what are you doing? Get the fuck out of there.
What do you think I'm doing? And I start the ignition and I start driving towards, and I start to try to drive, but I'm just not hitting any gear or pedals.
And then the back is rigged to blow. Get come on! And I try to yank Saul out of the out of the driver's seat so he can get the fuck out of here.
He's cooked up now. So.
Yeah, this is good. If you've ever tried to yank a drunk or a drugged up friend out of I'm not gonna do it.
Through your drug and stress haze, it does seem strange that there's so much billowing smoke coming. You can't really see. Not to mention, there's really nowhere to drive. There's exploded vehicles and people and violence all over the place. What do you do?
You asking me or
yeah? So yeah, you.
Saul is trying to assist in Ignacio taking him away.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because there are these purple cobwebs everywhere and these huge spiders are running everywhere. And I don't know, there's smoke everywhere. It's hard. Yeah, let's go. But avoid the spiders.
All right, so let's have this breakdown to Ignacio pushing your luck.
Okay, yeah, this is nothing else fits but pushing your luck. So
yeah, I think this.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it with both hands.
Fucking.
I think Saul's right. I think anybody could assist, but I think Saul is the obvious one. If you want to wager that 1 point of stress that you've gotten back, you can go ahead and try to assist here to save.
Yeah, that worked so well last time.
Sure.
No pressure, but I think at this point in the game, this is a do or die roll here.
Sure, I'm wagering my last point of stress.
Yeah,
I
we don't
am
have a
trying
get
to
fucking
help.
exploded game move
I
here.
am trying to help, but it's difficult with all of those purple things shooting at us. And it's a 6.
Oh,
Oh,
No,
oh, hmm.
this is the way these things end
Ignacio,
sometimes.
I'm going to give you a choice. Saul is coming along, but he's so whacked. He's making it really difficult. You know, it's just a second away from an explosion. Do you want to drop him, save yourself, or do you
I'm
want to try to
sorry.
continue to drag him?
Yeah, like the first thought Ignacio has is that Lupe will haunt him to the very halls of Hades if he were to die and leave Alejandro without a father. So he drops Saul and he saves his ass.
All right. What is Saul's last thought or action before he's blown up?
Make her stop whoring with Angel.
oh,
From
Oh,
hell, I curse you. All right. Yeah, so that happens. Ignacio, you leap, and there's that explosion all over the field. All of these RVs and vans and food trucks all explode.
mechanically, it's supposed to give Ignacio an opportunity. So I hope that means like getting an opportunity to emerge from this situation largely like safe.
Right. I think everyone's stunned and knocked down. Those that are still alive will try to like just crawl and walk away, drive away, so the gunfight peters out and stops. It's done. The leaders are dead. We have Isabel and Lupe, clutching at each other. Isabel's bleeding out, but I think Lupe, you're doing what you can to at least stop her from dying immediately. On hell, you can narrate where you're coming from. Ignacio, you're laid down. You've got like wreckage over you. You're probably smoking a little bit from chemicals and explosives and whatnot, but unharmed. So Saul is dead. So I will leave the four of you, to have some scenes. Where do you want to go?
Sorry, I was gonna say it's just so dramatic for Pavel to turn off his camera.
Right.
after
He
Kaiser.
changed it to
Then,
dead call.
then he went and changed this.
this is really. She changed his name also.
This Saul parenthesis diseased.
Anybody can jump in. It's totally open and free. I'm not even having you roll dice, so you just play out your characters, whatever your themes are. Complete your arcs, whatever you want to do with the remaining time. So anybody jump in.
Yeah, no, but Lupe is saying to Isabel on this. He says, you are not going anywhere. God damn it. For the love of God. And she's going to get Isabel to help, however, whatever that looks like.
When Lupe gets up to bring, it is okay. When Lupe gets up to bring, to get Isabel some help, that's when Ignacio shows up and offers to help Isabel by bandaging her or cleaning whatever on her wounds and all that stuff.
She needs a hospital, pendejo. Get her head.
Yeah, and Angel comes. I come out of the shadows as well, and I help get them up, moving, and
get her in my car. My car's still in the
yeah,
in the parking lot.
I know. We should help her, Isabel, and I know a guy, and he owes me.
I'm taking her to the hospital.
I take the keys from where
I'm taking her. I am not taking her to some fucking butcher. I am taking her to a regular hospital where she will have a regular doctor.
Taking the keys from Lupe on her person wherever Ignacio knows Lupe keeps the keys and leaves and gets the car.
Is Isabel conscious?
I think I'm conscious, and I'm saying to Lupe, hermana, at least we saved ourselves the trip to Reyes to sort out Alejandro. And I think it's time. If we're going anywhere, then we're leaving this city.
Do you want to go to
that
the
remark? To that
hospital,
remark,
Isabel?
Hold
Lupe.
on. Go ahead, Lupe.
Sorry,
Yeah,
to
sorry.
that remark about at least we saved our, having to travel to Reyes. Lupe starts to laugh, the tears running down her face, because it's such a bit of black humor, and she's so she's so stressed out and so glad that Isabel's not dead.
What did you want to say, Daniel?
I wanted to ask Isabel, Sagal, do you want to go to the hospital?
Yes.
You think this is good for you?
If there is one good thing about being a cop, then it is usually no issue going to the hospital being shot. But once they've stitched me up, Lupe, I think
Okay.
our family is done with this city, at least for the next couple of weeks. And we need to find a way to get out of this city fast.
We can go to our cousins and visit our cousins in Mexico City, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
Ciudad Federal, that's far enough away.
Okay, so I want to have, if we are going to the hospital and we drop Isabel off and maybe Lupe goes with her, I want to have a private word with Ignacio maybe.
Ooh.
So yeah, we'll say Lupe helping Isabel
Yeah.
into the hospital. Go ahead.
So, what are your plans with Lupe now? Are you gonna take care of her?
It's my duty. Listen,
But are you gonna do it?
I know what's going on between you, and personally, I don't take it personal. But no matter what, I still have an obligation or a duty to my family, and I will still work to take care of them, Alejandro and Lupe. And you can carry on with your relationship with her. Whatever uh whatever passion she has for me, or you know it's not really something that uh that I can demand from her. It's obvious she still carries a lot of fire for me, but it's not something I can uh interact with until I fulfill my obligations and and make things right with my family.
I think maybe you're right, but I think also that Lupe needs someone to take care of her in a way that she's safe. And I don't think I am the guy who can do this,
Oh,
because I have now killed, the Jefe and the Federales, the lieutenant of the police, and that's not going to go away from me. But maybe you can be the one who is going to get clean and who can take care of Lupe, because she's not cut out for this kind of world that we are living in.
Angel, listen. If anything, she doesn't. Angel, she can take care of herself. But you're right. I will stay by her because she's the one who can. Because she will take care of me. Everyone knows that I just make a mess of mess of things, and I need her to keep me on the straight and narrow. And in return, I give her the life and love she deserves.
You do that, and maybe you two can help each other. But if you do something dodgy again, like what you did with the cartel and with Saul, don't do this again. Or I'll come back from the shadows and I'll kill you. Okay.
And what are
And
the other
then
plans? Are you leaving? Are you leaving town? Are you leaving town forever?
yeah,
Clint Eastwood,
Well,
Man with No Name style.
goodbye, Ignacio. And I turn around and I walk away into the night.
Lupe is going to catch you before you go.
Okay.
All right, there has to be a last scene with them. There's no way you get away with a last scene.
Okay. So yeah,
She's waiting there by your car.
is it okay?
Okay.
I mean, I just want to say I like the idea of it like being very cinematic, wherein Angel like really does the whole walk into the shadows, and we see like the screen darken, like we're thinking it's gonna be it, and then it stops darkening, and Luffy shows up.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When I see you, Lupe, I just I try to avoid you. I was trying to avoid talking to you because I thought you would change my mind, and I wanted to leave. But yeah, I stop. When I see you.
You're going, aren't you?
Yeah.
A woman knows.
It's the only way. There's no other option. I cannot escape this. It's too late for me, but it's not too late for you and the others.
And
your sister.
I hate
and
that.
Your husband.
But I get it. I wanted to say before you went that, well, I don't think you're a good person. You're always good to me. And I'll never forget that. And I know I'd be dead if you hadn't done what you did. And she kisses you hard.
Yeah, and I kiss her back.
And the kiss lasts for a good long time. And at the end, she touches your face with one hand, puts the other hand on your chest, and she says, "Go with God, Angelito."
Okay, that seems good there.
Yeah.
Sebastian, did you want any final scenes?
I think my final scene is when Lupe and I come out of the hospital and we basically take my husband with us and load
Yes.
him into the car because he needs to get out of the city as well. And I tell her, well, I'm sorry, sister, that my first day back in the city seems to stir up all of the mess that has always been in Durango. I was afraid that the city would eat our whole family today, but it seems like in the end, family is all that survives, and I'm thankful to you for that.
Yes. Without family, what do we have really?
Is it okay if Ignacio enters the scene?
Go for it.
So Ignacio approaches Lupe, holds her hand, and says, "The one mistake I made was that I let you let me out of your sight. Is it all right, Lupe, if I move back in?
Says Lupe. We can talk about it.
I'm not expecting anything from you other than
Good, because you have a lot to work off before we're back to even.
that was the mistake. Things came between us, but it shouldn't have been a reason for me to be out of your sight. For Alejandro and for everything. I don't
If-
think I would have fallen in the things I fell into had I been under your watchful eye.
Damn straight. Stupid, man. Isa,
Yes.
I've arranged with a specialist in Mexico City for Javier.
Very good. I will find a way to repay you.
You repay me by being alive.
I'll take
right.
that.
Is that you got something else? Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, just one more scene for myself. I'm in the desert, and I'm burying a body in the desert, and I put a nice little stone on the grave, a rock, and I take up a Sharpie or a piece of chalk, and I write the name Saul Zoldo. Here lies Saul Zoldo without anything else added, and I stand a little bit, contemplate in silence over his grave, and then I get inside his shitty BMW and drive away.
Nice. Anybody else have a little epilogue they want to throw in, or is that where we should stop? All good? Everyone good? Great. Pablo, are you there?
You can come back now from
Oh,
the shadows,
there
Pablo.
it is. Great. All right, great. Let me ask first before I forget. Is it okay with everyone to put it on YouTube? Everyone's thumbs up. Good. Let's do Roses and Thorns then. Let's for the whole series. Sebastian, Roses and Thorns is similar to what we've been doing in Stars and Wishes. It's just you're encompassing the whole series rather than just that one session. So as we go around the table, you can do your roses, your thorns. You can do them all together. Roses are just roses, great things that you saw in the game, things you really liked. Thorns are things that in the game or in the way we played it or things that I did or whatever that you thought could have been a little better or things that let's go left to right on the character keeper. Let's start with Daniel. Do you have any feedback?
Well, I mean, roses all around. I think this was a great game, and I had loads of fun, and I really enjoyed playing my character. I think Jason, you handled it perfectly. It was it was great. I liked that the way you framed the scenes more in the beginning, and then let us do what we want in the end. Also in this last session, it was really really good. It was really surprising, but also very moving. And I think everyone finished off an arc of their character, and it was really good. I think it was I had a lot of great interactions with everyone, especially in this epilogue, and it was really good. Just roses all around. I don't have any real thorns. I think everything was good. I felt like I had maybe about my character in the first couple of but that was mostly because I was trying to hit my llaves. I felt I was not enough of an assassin, and I failed all my trying to kill someone or shoot someone. But it got really compensated in this last session. I felt really cool Sicario guy. So it was everything was great, and thank you everyone for playing. Yeah, thanks. That's it.
Okay, great. Pavel.
Yeah, I really loved the session. I really liked all of the moments with Lupe. Who she will end up with? Will she stay with Angel? Will she go back to Ignacio? The tension over there. I really liked how Isabel wanted to mix it all. Yeah, a very good session. Fun, explosive ending. Thorns. This is more to a system. I don't know. By the way, the system wants to be played. There was no time. For example, we never really even resolved Ignacio start of session move from the first session. We never dealt with this bug of drugs he produced.
Mm-hmm.
That's clearly a function of my absence, in my humble opinion.
The complication.
Yeah, that's part of it. There's a lot that gets lost. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, the complications from the wife never really came to play. I don't know. We were confused with other stuff. So I don't know. The game. But this is to the game. It's weird. It's weird. And the last point. Although I love how Daniel played Angel, I still it proves the point. Sniper rifle is the most boring weapon in PBTA game. Unfortunately, I don't know. It's so hard to make sniper rifle anyhow interesting. It's just way too easy.
If he had missed, obviously there was going to be some serious things happening. But yeah, he was a badass today. He just kept nailing them. So.
I was kind of expecting to be found out, and then I had to flee or be shot at, and
right.
I had this move prepared when I'm shot to death that I do something heroic, but I never got to use it. But yeah, I was expecting this to happen in this. But yeah, it's true. Sniper rifle is somehow too cool.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, that's all. I love the game. I love the tension. How Brandon positioned Lupe between everyone and was involved with everyone, sister, husband, lover, and it really worked. And all the sessions with Lupe with someone were really fascinating to me. Yeah, I loved seeing how the cups work and dirty cups and all things with that. Yeah, amazing.
Matthew.
Yeah, I really like this series now. I think caveat, of course, like before I get into the roses, I think I want to get into Thorns for just a little bit, which is my sense of FOMO from this game, basically. In the sense that because I was absent for 2 sessions, I feel like I jumped into a very, very exciting third or final act, and seeing where the characters and the players had progressed since I last saw them was very tantalizing. It's like, I don't know, it's like watching a movie and then you leave and you come back and you're like, whoa, what did I miss? Like that was pretty cool. And but at the same time, I'm also like, oh, I missed out on the journey, and I wish I could, rewind and play that. Well, there's the VOD, right? There's the video that's coming up on the YouTubes for me to catch that stuff. But yeah, on a personal level, I think while Ignacio as a character that I rolled out, and then as he turned out, didn't exactly go the direction I thought he would. And I don't know if that's a function of just like me having a hard time stepping into the character that I had created within the sessions I was able to attend, or both, or whatever. But I really liked all the drama that was being pushed into the character by the way that the playbooks work, And I think that's really the biggest compliment I can pay to the system right now as a sort of Rose, which is that all the playbooks are I think are really good. I keep thinking every time I look at a PBTA game, I always think that there might be a weak link playbook or not or whatever, but no, they're all very cool and very different. Whether it's the Sicario or the Cocinero or the Esposa. So yeah, I think that's a definite Rose for me. And Rose is also to all the players. Like again, like I said, I didn't catch all of it, but now as I see you coming in here, seeing your characters like fully formed in terms of like how you play them, like I really like Isabel, Saul, Angel, and Lupe. Like actually, I just want to say, like right now, Daniel's playing Angel, and he's in a really shadowed room. It's really adding to a lot of mystery. I just want to say right now, I'm looking at like when you said like I returned to the shadows. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, and but finally, I guess for my final set of roses will be um individual ones for just thank you, Jason, for running this game. I thought you did a great job running this game. Like I thought the system might not hold you back, but I thought the system might be challenging in terms of like how the material is. But everything you promised about the system is true. When you said that the system would give rise to that, there's something you said some sessions ago. You said like the system does most of the work for us in making the setting become real. It's not like there isn't so much like the reliance on the GM to do heavy setting research or heavy like write pre-writing or whatever. And I think absolutely true. And even with that strength in the system, I thought you know you really made it sing. I think for what I got to see. And Rose to Brandon, which I'm always giving in every game I'm in because every time he makes a character, it's just like aces, like you know, up to 11 for whatever the concept is going to be. And I think roses again to Daniel for being such a cool customer, Saul, and also for like, I feel very welcomed from being absent for 2 sessions when Saul like began to engage in both supporting and being a source of trouble for for Ignacio. I was like, oh, that's great. I feel like I'm still part of this gaming party. And um, I thought Sebastian's portrayal of Isabel was very compelling in the sense that whenever I listen to you guys talk about like your tactics and your schemes or whatever, it made for some nice tense drama. So yeah, those are my roses and thorns. I'm so sorry I went on at length. It just I had a lot of detail stored up in my mind for what it was for.
Nope, perfect. Thank you, Sebastian.
Yeah, so roses all around first for all of you, right? This has been my first Gauntlet game, and I've really enjoyed that as an experience. I enjoyed you as a player community tremendously. Had loads and loads of fun in the sessions that I was part of. So thanks all around. Yeah, I think particularly in terms of playing for Brendan, I think Lupe was a wonderful character, and sort of leaning into her as in always being in everybody's face worked brilliantly for I think for the round, for the game, and yeah, produced a lot of good scenes and good connective tissue. I think roses to the system for making me genuinely stressed. So if anything, there were just certain situations where I went, this is a bit too stressful for myself. Maybe I'm too much identifying with my character, but I feel like there is no downtime here. There's no emotional downtime here in terms of gameplay. So the game wants to create that, and definitely it did create that for me. So in that sense, it really delivers on the experience that is promised on the box. I also really, roses to you, Jason, for keeping the pace up. I wouldn't have expected us to be able to finish in 5 sessions. The fact that we feel like, I feel like we have sort of a nice arc within 5 sessions is really, really well done. I think to me that's kind of the only thorn or the only downside, where I felt like, while sort of the external meta plot about Reyes and everything else kept the pressure high the whole time and lend itself to then therefore a time arc, I felt that there would have been in what is in the characters, in the play sheets, etc., probably more space for kind of emergent telenovela style conflicts and arcs between the different characters that I felt like, or even scheming between the characters that kind of, if we had more breathing space time-wise, probably would have come out in this way. I felt, right, understandably, we need to cut it 5 sessions, but thereby I felt like that was where the meta plot sort of, I felt, curtail a bit. If we had, I don't know, 15 sessions or so, what could have been developed between the characters spontaneously and emergently. Yeah.
Okay. Good thoughts from everybody. A few thoughts of my own. Roses, everybody played their playbooks wonderfully. I think they got right into the character. I think the game, like somebody was saying, you know, I think it was Matthew saying, you know, like the playbooks and the rules help us to play these characters, to play this setting nicely. But I think you guys all bought into it really well. Saul has that scuzzy Halcone feel, and Lupe was the perfect, just like, you know, tiger mom, you just like would not give up, just tenacious. Angel, that cool customer, and I'm so happy that the dice turned for you and allowed you to kill people in the end, to have the moments you deserved. You were struggling so much through the rest of our time we played to get those moments. I'm glad they came around for you. Matthew, you missed, but you came back firing with all cylinders today, you know, blowing up the entire set, the entire, you know, the whole stadium, basically. That was perfect. That was a wonderful little twist. And Sebastian, Isabel, you know, caught between these two demands on you. You were constantly in stress. You had this refrain that you returned to about, you know, this is my first day and it's going to kill me and kill my whole family. You returned to that many times. It was your callback, and it captured Isabel really nicely. It reminded me, if you guys ever seen the movie Clerks, where the character's like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. You know, that was like her kind of refrain that she returned to a lot. So I thought that was really
That's
great.
just that's Isabel's movie poster tagline. This is my first day back on the job, and it's going to kill my
It's
family.
her first
Like,
day back on the job.
Yeah. Right.
yeah,
And it's going to kill her.
yeah. The summer.
This summer, yes.
I've had some little side conversations with a few of you in the course of the game, talking about, you know, cultural sensitivity, you know, and you know, I've tripped up a few things, but I think in general, I think we did a pretty good job. I don't feel like anything was overtly off tone or inappropriate. So I you know, good job, everybody, as far as I'm concerned. On that note,
As a resident POC, I'm just gonna say, like, I think, yeah, 100%, like, because everybody leaned into playing characters, leaned into playing who they were, rather than, you know, any broad sketch of what a Latino mom or a Latino like gangster is supposed to look like. The
Exactly.
You know, being emotionally honest and truthful to the characters that they were creating, that pretty much was all we needed to avoid like stereotype and problematic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad you feel that way. I agree. I think thorns wise, I think I learned in this game what I, as a GM, all I need to do is just push you guys together. Like, you guys will take care of things from there. I think a lot of times I would push in NPCs when really I should have pushed in PCs to be with each other rather than bother with NPCs. So that's something I've learned from running this game with you guys. I've been starting running this with my home group, and that's what I've definitely been doing. The other thing I'm doing, that I try to tone down the violence, you know, as much as possible until it really is needed. I think there's probably too much violence in the course of the game. I think sometimes it kind of gets in the way. I think the sessions, like somebody said, like, you know, I think it was you, Sebastian, saying, you know, like you were really stressed out and it was tense. I think the moments where you guys are just talking to each other are the tensest. You know, when the guns come out, you know, it's just kind of like action movie, and it's still tense, you know, and the violence and that danger's there. But the scenes, you know, I think the best scene of the whole thing was when Isabel and Lupe and Angel were all together outside the cathedral, and, you know, Isabel had grabbed the the witness, and Angel came up and confronted them, and that whole tense scene where it was basically coming down to, is Angel going to pull his gun out and and turn to violence here, or is it going to end somehow without that violence? And that scene was really tense, and I had no idea where it's going to go, but wherever I was, on the edge of my seat, so that was really a good scene.
Simmering is always. I'm so sorry.
Simmering.
Yeah, simmering is always worse than boiling.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely be running this game again sometime next year. It's a great game. It's probably, I know in the Gauntlet we're talking about like people submitting their game of the year, submissions. This would be mine. I really like this game. I'm definitely going to be playing it again. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I think Brandon has to give us.
Did I skip you, Brandon? I'm sorry.
You did. But I'll be brief. Thank you, everyone, for engaging in relationship drama with Lupe, who, of course, that was her thing. That's the way I read the Esposa, playbook. And that would not have been possible, Jason, without your putting everybody else in terrible trouble all the time. Okay, because that gave Lupe a reason to be outraged at their behavior or protective or things like that. And the irony of Lupe being protective to her younger sister, who is a policewoman, was something that I tried to play for all it was worth.
Very poetic, I think.
Well, it's just like it's the fact that Lupe was out of her element, is not in question. She still had to do something. So turning up the heat and forcing people to confront uncomfortable decisions was key to maximizing that relationship drama. And so thank you very much for that. Thank you, Saul, for being thank you for having Saul be an antagonist. We didn't get as much chance to interact as some of the other characters, but it was great to have someone there who was basically, you're the reason why Ignacio is off the rails, knowing full well that wasn't entirely true. But to have a stalking horse in that regard was terrific. And the Lupe, losing herself in the arms of Angel, it's as I said afterwards, it's like, he's not a bad man. He's a bad man, but he wasn't bad to me. It felt perfectly natural that she would somehow reconcile this, and it wouldn't have been possible without everybody's complete buy-in to the relationship drama and letting Lupe run roughshod on your characters in some of the scenes. Thank you all so much for that. That made everything just feel perfect and fun. So that's what I got. I don't have a lot of thorns. Obviously there's always a balance in here on how much to push. The games master in all these kinds of games has to push and then let go, and push and then let go, and that's always a tricky thing. But I think you did, Jason. I think you did basically a good job of always making it so that there was a real problem that didn't have a good solution. Because then the interpersonal stuff comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, and Lupe was really the glue that tied all the characters together. It's hard to imagine this without her. She had that way of tying people together, and it's a really fun playbook. If I was a player in this, I would probably choose the Esposa. It's so many interesting, fun moves to do.
Well, I realized. Well, she actually. I mean, minor thorn to the Esposa is that there's a couple moves that I think are completely obvious for you to take, and then after that, the other moves are are kind of lightweight. They don't actually add very much to the drama. Cormare Algo and things like that doesn't.
You guys, I don't know if anybody did it, but you always have that option when you get an advancement. You can choose a move from another playbook. And looking through it, there are a few moves where I'm like, oh, that would be cool to put on this other playbook. So if you guys play again, I mean, check that out. I mean, there's a couple playbooks we never used that you could have drawn from, or moves that the other ones have.
The reason, I mean, I picked last, but the Esposa for me, it was an obvious choice because there was an existing non-player character whose role I could step into, which is always which in my opinion is always a strong, good move to get established. But B, exactly what you said, which was, oh my God, I can be involved in everybody else's life. It's like I have a sister, I have a separated husband, and I have a lover, and then I have my husband's rotten friend, and it's like I've got a relationship with every other character in this game.
You and I had the same instinct when I saw that you were just like, I'm going to play the Esposa. I'm like, oh, I hope that he's Ignacio, or I hope he plays Ignacio's wife, and you did, and it fit perfectly into what everybody had created before you showed up for session 2. Something else I was going to say.
Plug and play, baby.
That my home group, they've chosen the exact same 4 playbooks you guys have. In fact, a lot of them have the same name. So I don't know if that's just the way, maybe random chance, or just I will say, someone was saying, it would all the playbooks are interesting. I would say nobody chose it, but the Jefe playbook needs to be punched up a little bit. It's a little thin. I remember watching, I think Pavel, you played in a series where Will played the Jefe, and it doesn't have a lot to it. I mean, it's very central, but it doesn't have a lot of fun stuff to play with. So if I were to, I think you guys picked good playbooks. What's the other one? The Rat I haven't seen played by anybody ever, actually. So I'm not sure how that plays.
Well, I think I played Errata next time.
Okay, it looks fun, but I don't know how it would be on the screen. But all right, well, thank you guys. It was awesome, super great. I guess that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. See you all around.
Bye bye.
Thank you.